All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Go. I'm Rich Walsh along with Chris Mueller here on Thursday night. This is our Xfinity tweet of the night. This is from PFF College. Pitt linebacker Kyle Lewis, his combine results. Look, ran a 4.53. That's pretty good. He was fifth among all the linebackers. 10-yard split, third. Vertical jump, pretty good. Broad jump, he's second. And, you know, if you keep going further into the Kyle Lewis, I think he'll be a mid-rounder, maybe a day two. I think his sweet spot is probably the third round, Chris. I don't know what you think. But Louis Riddick called him the next Derek Brooks. That could be a stretch. I mean, Kyle Lewis is a great player. He's phenomenal. But he's a tweener. I think he's undersized a little bit, and that's going to hurt him in this draft.
If Louis Riddick ends up being right, then that means Kyle Lewis will be one of the, 10 best off-ball linebackers of a 35-year, 40-year stretch, because I think Derek Brooks is better than Ray Lewis. I think Derek Brooks is one of the best to ever do it. And I think that here's the thing with Kyle Lewis. If he's a third-round pick, that's the same round that Fred Warner was chosen in. Fred Warner's a freak athlete. Lewis is a little bit undersized by comparison, obviously. But Lewis is also a very good athlete, as you just put in that tweet of the night. He just needs to fall to a team that knows how to utilize him, because here's the kind of player he is. In the right scheme, with the right coordinator, he's a Swiss Army knife weapon who disrupts opposing offenses. In the wrong scheme, with the wrong deployment, he's a guy who looks out of place and in the NFL might get taken advantage of. That's kind of the fine line here. So my main hope for Kyle Lewis is that he falls to a team or gets selected by a team that has a clear and good plan on how to use him, because I think he can be a disruptor at this level.
Does it say anything that he's played right next to the Steelers and they're not going to have a formal or informal interview with him right now? I mean, he just doesn't maybe fit the defense of 3-4. He's not a 3-4 guy.
No, I think that it's more that he's probably not a 3-4 guy, obviously, and that they just already have kind of some linebackers I think that they like in Peyton Wilson. But, yeah, he strikes me as more of a guy that's playing in a 4-3, and he's really, it's positionless football. I know you and I and everybody else still orders NFL defenses by either 3-4 or 4-3. These teams are in sub-package and in nickel and everything else, and all these hybrid looks so often. Just find a place on the field where you think Kyle Lewis can thrive and then let him do his thing. I think that's kind of the key here. Don't make him the wrong side of a tweener.
All right, back to this question about if you have to bring in a quarterback other than Aaron Rodgers, if that falls through. Is there any intrigue with Anthony Richardson? I know they're out looking. They gave him permission to look for a trade. I know Mike Tomlin and his staff weren't big fans of Richardson, but that might be different with a Mike McCarthy, who could think that he could do something with this guy.
Well, the poster boy right now for this new movement in the NFL where, you can't, people finger wag and go, you can't give up on these quarterbacks too early. It's Sam Darnold, who was the third overall pick in the 2018 draft. So if you go by that and draft pedigree, then yeah, Richardson would have to intrigue you as a fourth overall guy who really did not have much experience in college, was very raw. I think just a lot he needed to learn about playing the position, period, let alone at the pro level. I would at least be intrigued enough to take a fifth-round pick or later if that's what it took to pry him loose, but no more than that, because he does have one major flaw that I don't know about any amount of learning correcting or any amount of favorable offensive system correcting. He just misses too many throws. When he throws a seed and hits one down the field, you go, oh my God, okay, I get why that guy got picked fourth overall. He just misses way too frequently on way too easy throws. It's hard to teach accuracy, but he was a fourth rounder, so a fourth overall pick, so a lot of people saw a lot of things in him. But that could be said about Mitch Trubisky, too, and look what happened to him. All right, let's go out to Bill in Oakdale. How you doing, Bill?
I'm doing good, boys. How are you?
Good, thanks for calling.
Hey, I was wondering, how many wins do you think the Pirates are going to get this year?
Well, I think they should be better than last year, right, Chris? I mean, I'm hoping that they're above a 500 team, and I'm really hoping that Connor Griffin is on the opening day roster, and I'm really, really hoping that maybe they learn something from the Paul Skeens saga and they try to sign this guy now.
Well, I'm sure they're going to try to sign him now. The question is, are they going to hit the right number? Because I suspect they won't. I think
8 years, 130. I think that's what Anthony got, right? I mean,
I think he might want more than that, because he might understand he's probably worth a little bit more than that as far as how he's being perceived. I think if they got to 8 and 150, it might get it done. But I think there's nothing that tells us Bob Nutting would have the stomach to do that for a player who's never looked at a pitch or fielded a ground ball in a major league game, let alone a AAA game. I mean, I would love to see them act aggressively like that, even if it didn't work perfectly for them. As far as their win total, it's hard to be bad when you have a player of Griffin's potential and pedigree that people think is going to be as good as they think he will be. And a guy like Paul Skeens, you'd have to basically be the Angels again with Ohtani and Trout just continually stepping on rakes and finding ways to lose. But this team should win, I think, 85 to 88 games and should be shooting for a playoff spot in really this division. Like, they have no excuse not to. They've actually added some pieces. Time to go out and actually do something with it.
Yeah, I think they have a shot to win the division, but I'm not going to get too optimistic. The last few years I had Bucko fever, and look what happened. Yeah.
Richie, the second they play their opening day game, if Connor Griffin is on the team and he hits 2 home runs and Paul Skeens throws 6 shutout innings, you're going to come on here lighting cigarettes and fanning yourself. You're going to have so much Bucko fever.
No question about it. I hope that happens. Let's go out to Chuck in Uniontown. How you doing, Chuck?
Thanks, fellas. Good evening. I just want to know if the Penguins can find some way to still make the playoffs despite losing Crosby. Does that steal a Jack Adams award for Dan Hughes?
I don't know.
I think it would, Chuck. Yeah, I think it would lock it up. If you miss your best player for 15 to 19 games, which was the range accurately I think you put on it, Richie, I think Muse would have to win the Jack Adams. That would be a tremendous job. They were projected to only get about 76 points this year in Vegas before the season started. You make the playoffs, and you do it with Crosby missing approximately a quarter of the season. That would sew it up for me. I think that would be one of the better coaching jobs we've seen in a pretty long time.
Is this a team that can make a run in the postseason? I know you need speed, but also you need some veterans. And it seems like the Penguins kind of have a mix of both right now. Maybe goaltending is a question mark, but they've gotten that, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think any team that gets a goalie that gets on a roll in the postseason can do some damage. We've seen that too many times, or especially early in the playoffs. Teams that just have a goalie steal a series. So, yes, they could. I think they could win a series, maybe even 2. Kindle being so good so early gives them, I think, a jolt of youth. Some of the other guys on their 3rd and 4th lines who seem to just really have embraced their roles, Muse trusting those guys, their veterans still looking like they're at the top of their game. Erik Karlsson largely being much better this year than he's been since he's been with the Penguins. They still have the firepower. I think the age would make it tough, but I don't really rule out any team that gets in the NHL playoffs winning a series or 2. I really don't.
Well, they 100% need a healthy Sidney Crosby, and hopefully he's back for the postseason if they make it. All right, we're going to take a break. Back in a couple minutes.